Good morning, commissioners and observers. This is Jeanette Vosburg. Grassroots Coalition president would usually be present, but she's faced with a dire emergency and she cannot be here today. So I said that I would make some remarks in her absence. On several occasions, she's directed your attention to recent discoveries that we did not know about over the past 30 years, as well as 3 ongoing life-threatening Ballona issues, which you, the State Lands Commission, have the authority to act on. 1, gas leaks at University City Syndicate in the freshwater marsh that's managed by Playa Vista. Both LA City Experts Environmental Technologies, Inc., and Dr. Becker, an expert on oil fields, have spoken out subsequent to their original studies years ago, within the last year. 2, Grassroots Coalition requests that the State Lands Commission adhere to Fish and Game Code 1745, CCR Title 14, Section 630, terrestrial non-marine registered status of Ballona Wetlands Ecological Reserve. This was done in 2005, shortly after the Ballona Wetlands became an ecological reserve. And also, I'd like to direct your attention to the 2008 MOU that contains the State Lands Commission's switched goal document that incorrectly states Ballona Wetlands is classified as estuarine. Now, the Coastal Conservancy et al. Definition is marine. Basically, they're the same. Or Fish and Game Code 1745, CCR Title 14, Section 632, marine, as opposed to Section 630, which was the designation it was given by the Fish and Game Commission. Director Lucchese assigned this request by Ms. McPherson to Ms. Calvo, a staff commission. We have not received any response from Ms. Calvo. Earlier, the Coastal Conservancy project manager provided SQUIRP's inconsistent marching orders as an estuarine goal. Even the latest 2022 grant includes language, restore the ebb and flow of the ocean, which is inconsistent with the Ballona status as a Title 14, 630 terrestrial non-marine. And 3, the Coastal Conservancy has failed to speak out on Playa Vista and Fish and Wildlife dewatering of fresh water of Ballona over the last 30 years. Only after Grassroots Coalition won a lawsuit to stop throwaway of fresh water, the Coastal Commission ordered the capping of illegal drains. Other freshwater waste still exists. 4, the Bosa Chica 2021 study lessons are also a stark warning against an industrial scale dig out at Ballona. And 5, last, sea level rise also endangers Ballona's 3 freshwater aquifers. We've run out of time. Please treat this matter seriously for the benefit of the planet, the wildlife, the habitat, as well as us humans. We really need your help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Vosburg, for your comments. That concludes our public comment period.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, we have 1 hand raised for public comment. We have Jeanette Vosburg.
Good afternoon. This is Jeanette Vosburg, and I am speaking again on the subject of Ballona. Appreciate you taking me again. I am the outreach coordinator for Grassroots Coalition, speaking in the absence of Patricia, our president, who's unable to attend due to an emergency. The Playa Vista Ballona Wetlands Conservancy and via the State Lands Commission's allowance for their continued control have been part of an unpermitted and environmentally destructive road building in the riparian corridor. And I just want to bring your attention to that. Grassroots Coalition still awaits a response to our concerns regarding the control of Ballona issues by the Playa Vista Development's private business known as Ballona Wetlands Conservancy, to which the State Lands Commission acknowledges that it's not a board member. However, SLC continues to state that CDFW, CD11, and Friends of Ballona are Ballona Wetlands
Excuse me,
Conservancy.
Ms. Vosburg, I'm taking testimony on items on the consent calendar. Are you addressing a specific item on the consent calendar?
I'm not really.
Okay. I'm going
Is there
to-
another place where I could speak to
We
this?
can return to you at the end of our meeting. But we have a
That would
motion.
be, do you have any idea when that would be?
I don't think it will be too long, probably within the hour and a
So our first public commenter is Jeanette Vosburg.
Okay.
I'm Jeanette Vosburg, Outreach Coordinator for Grassroots Coalition, speaking in the absence of Patricia, our president, who is unable to attend due to an emergency. It's not her, but it's someone she cares deeply about. The Playa Vista Ballona Wetlands Conservancy and via SLC's allowance for their continued control have been part of unpermitted and environmentally destructive road building in the riparian corridor. CDFW cited streambed violation, LADBS citations, citations by vector control for failure to do mosquito abatement program. Grassroots Coalition, and this is another issue, still awaits response to our concerns regarding the control of Ballona issues by the Playa Vista Development's private business known as the Ballona Wetlands Conservancy, to which SLC acknowledges that it's not a board member. SLC continues to state that CDFW, CD11, and Friends of Ballona are Ballona Wetlands Conservancy board members without anything but hearsay and Playa Vista's Ballona Conservancy bylaws, which do not comport with IRS records per its board members. See Ballona Conservancy IRS records sent to SLC. IRS records provide to SLC only reference Playa Vista entities as board members. Other concerns are: one, unpermitted and environmentally destructive diversion and drainage of Ballona freshwater resources via unpermitted drainage wells in Ballona Wetlands Ecological Reserve, as cited as a coastal violation by the California Coastal Commission and subsequently stopped by the Coastal Commission. In other words, the drains were capped. Two, failure to protect and ensure that freshwater resources of Ballona that were being pumped, diverted, and drained away from Ballona wetlands by Playa Vista and the Ballona Wetlands Conservancy, whether permitted or unpermitted, were and are protected for use by Ballona Wetlands and Ballona Wetlands Ecological Reserve. SLC has not stopped or attempted to end the wasting and diversion of this fresh water away from Ballona. Three, failure to explore, reabandon, and stop the petroliferous chemicals in Playa Vista abandoned wells, known as University Syndicate. I have more to say. Do I have any more time? Hello?
Yes, we're going to give you an additional 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. For failure to protect, and by the way, I just like to digress for a minute. I really appreciate what you're doing with the public trust. I think, and I also think that the last meeting of the California State Lands Commission was a good meeting. And I think people, even though life isn't perfect, you've been doing a relatively good job, and we do appreciate that. So for failure to protect the freshwater resources of Ballona Wetlands for Ballona Wetlands Ecological Reserve, as the Ballona Wetlands Conservancy has continued to divert the freshwater marsh water to the ocean via the main drain of the freshwater marsh system to Ballona Channel to the ocean, and thereby harming the hydrology of Ballona. And there is a CDFW letter from Betty Courtney to Playa Vista, AKA the Ballona Wetlands Conservancy. 5, failure to correct the main drain of the freshwater marsh system to stop the Ballona Channel toxic waters from backflowing up and out the unprevented drains and into the Ballona Wetlands Ecological Reserve. No permit has ever existed that allowed for backflow of Ballona Channel water via the main drain to reach the sensitive wetlands. And there's a letter about it by Somas Crehan to Playa Vista and Bay Foundation and CDFW pertaining to the backflow. So there's an admission there that it's happening. 6 is Grassroots Coalition requests independent oversight of the freshwater marsh system as discussed in 2005 California Fish and Game Commission hearings. There is time to correct the mistakes of the past and stop compounding the harm to Ballona wetlands. I mean, both Patricia and I have for, 30 years for her and 20 years for me, have really devoted ourselves to having a good possible, outcome on the restoration of Ballona. And everything that I've read and everything that she's read counter indicates that this should be called a Title 632 as opposed to a 630. It just doesn't make sense. And so we really need your help. And it's unfortunate that Patricia can't be here to really express the needs in a better way. But, I'm trying best as I can to say to all of you, please help us. We, especially with sea level rise, to do a really ambitious dig out of probably 70% of the land at Ballona to 20 to 30 feet deep and invite seawater into the three different aquifers. Just absolutely makes no sense to us. We should be raising the walls of the channel. And the last thing is that, somewhat the whole county has been ignored in all of this. That Ballona Creek flood control channel belongs to the county. And the way that things are being written implies that it doesn't belong to the county, that it belongs to Ballona wetlands. And that is absolutely not true. And there's an intentional elimination of the county in all of these discussions. And that's just patently not right. So I'm asking that people really pay attention to what's going on here. We've done a laborious job of looking at all these issues. I've personally put together a brochure that I think all of you have, that you've been sent that brochure by Patricia. both a lot electronically and I believe physically because we printed it. And I ask that you not treat us as outsiders, but treat us as somebody that really, Grassroots Coalition, really is willing, able, and begging to be able to participate with you in solving these problems at Ballona. We are not trying in any way to stop the good things that need to happen. And we've been working very closely with restoration ecologist Margot Griswold, who also, I mean, the three of us are like,
Ms. Vosburg, your time has expired.
I know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
hearing me.
Thank
Bye.
you for your comments.
Thank you.
Katie, our next speaker. Any other speakers in the queue?
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, we have no other hands raised to provide public comment.
All right. Thank you very much, Katie. That concludes our second public comment period. And let me just see if any of the commissioners have any questions or comments at this point. Yeah. Okay. Ms. Lucchese, what is our next order of business?
Our next order of business is typically a closed session. However, we do not have any items to discuss in closed sessions today. So through the chair, I recommend we adjourn the meeting.
All right. Very well. Thank you very much, commissioners. That concludes the open meeting and we are hereby adjourned. Thank you very much.